Okay, so this week we got a really interesting question from one of you listeners out there.
Yeah.
You sent us an article all about AI in retail.
hmm
And basically it left you wondering if, like, all this AI stuff everyone's talking about,
Right.
if it's just passing by all the actual stores, the brick and mortar shops.
Interesting.
So it's a great question, and it got us thinking, too.
Yeah, for sure.
AI is, like, popping up everywhere these days.
It really is.
And it's natural to wonder, are our local stores even keeping up with all of it?
Absolutely.
So that's what we're going to be diving into today.
Oh,
We're going deep on this article.
that's
It's
right.
from Retailr AI,
Okay.
and we really want to figure out what's going on with this whole artificial intelligence thing,
hmm
both when you're shopping online and when you're walking through the aisles of a store.
Yeah. You know what jumps out right away from this article?
What's that?
It's this idea that retail isn't being left behind by AI.
Okay.
In fact, it's the opposite. They say retail is really moving with AI in big ways.
Interesting.
And the reason it might feel like retail is behind is because different stores are adopting these new AI technologies at different speeds.
So some are further along than others.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's get into the specifics.
Sure.
The article lays out several key ways that retail is integrating AI.
Right.
And the first one is something I bet a lot of us have seen in stores.
Okay.
They call it AI-powered in-store personalization.
So it's like beyond just having someone greet you at the door.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more than that.
What kinds of things are we talking about here?
Well, think about it. We're seeing technology now that can actually analyze your behavior in a physical store.
In real time.
Yeah, as you're walking around.
Wow.
Like you could have digital displays that change what promotions they're showing.
Based on who's looking at them.
Exactly, based on who's standing there.
That's pretty wild.
And the article even talks about smart mirrors in clothing stores.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
They can suggest outfits or items that go with what you're trying on.
That's so cool. I mean, it really is like having a personal stylist right there with you.
Exactly. It's all about making the shopping experience feel more tailored to you.
And what about all those loyalty program apps we have on our phones?
Oh, yeah.
The article says AI is making those a lot smarter, too.
It is. They can give you personalized offers in real time.
Oh, so based on what you've bought before.
Exactly like your past purchases.
So it's like it remembers what you like and tries to give you deals on those things.
Exactly. It learns your tastes and helps you save money.
They even gave some specific examples in the article.
Oh, yeah. What were those?
They mentioned Nike and Sephora
Okay.
and how they're using AI to really personalize those in-store experiences.
Wow, that's smart. I mean, they have so much data on their customers.
They really do.
Combining that with AI is huge.
Definitely. Okay, so moving on. The article talks about another area where AI is making a big difference.
Okay, what's that?
It's smart inventory and demand forecasting.
So making sure they have what you want in stock when you go to the store.
Exactly. How does AI help with that?
Well, what's amazing is how AI can look at all sorts of data,
Like what kind of data?
like local trends, seasonality, and even what's popular on social media.
Wow, that's a lot of information.
Right, and AI can use all that to figure out exactly what a store needs to stock and when.
So they don't overbuy or run out of things.
Exactly. It helps avoid waste for the retailer.
And also those empty shelves that drive us shoppers crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's smoother for everyone involved.
That makes sense. I hate it when I go to the store for something specific and they're all out.
Right. It's frustrating.
So AI can help predict those needs ahead of time.
That's the goal.
Awesome. The next thing the article brings up is AI-powered store assistants.
Now, this sounds kind of futuristic,
It does a little bit.
but haven't we already seen some of this starting to happen?
I think so.
Like what?
Well, I've seen those robot greeters in some stores.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And those voice-activated information kiosks. And even those interactive screens you can use to find stuff.
It's true. It's not just science fiction anymore.
Right, it's becoming more common.
And the article talks about how these AI assistants can actually be really helpful.
Oh, yeah, how so?
Well, they can help you find products, answer your questions.
Okay.
And that frees up the actual store employees to deal with more complicated things.
So it's like a win-win.
Exactly. Customers get help faster.
And employees can focus on other tasks.
Right. And they even gave an example in the article.
Oh, which one?
Lowe's. They're using robots to help customers find specific items in their stores.
That's a great example because Lowe's is so huge, it's easy to get lost in there.
Exactly. So instead of wandering around aimlessly,
You could just ask a robot for help.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it can take you right to what you need.
Now, that's what I call efficient. Okay, so moving on.
Sure.
The article talks about creating a seamless omnichannel experience.
Now that sounds complicated.
It does. But it's basically about how shopping online and shopping in a store are starting to blend together.
Yeah, I see that happening more and more.
Me too. So how does AI fit into all of this?
Well, the key is that AI can connect your online and offline interactions with a retailer.
So give me an example.
Imagine you're browsing for a new blender on a store's website.
Okay.
You walk into their actual store,
Yeah.
and because of AI, you might see recommendations for similar blenders.
While you're in the store.
Exactly. Or even the exact blender you were looking at online.
So it's like the store remembers what you were interested in online.
Exactly. It's about making your shopping journey feel connected and personalized.
I've actually experienced that myself.
Really?
Yeah, and it is really convenient when it works well.
It's like the store knows you no matter how you shop with them.
Exactly. Okay, so the next thing they talk about is
Well, with visual search, you could take a picture of something you like.
like a handbag or pair of shoes.
Exactly. And then AI can find similar items in a store's inventory.
So you could find something that matches your style.
Right. And then with augmented reality, you can virtually try things on.
I've seen those AR features for makeup and clothes.
Yeah. And even furniture now, you can see how a couch would look in your living room.
That's really cool. I can see how that would be helpful.
Definitely. Okay, so the last way the article says retail is moving with AI
Yeah.
is through something called sentiment and behavior analysis.
What is that?
They're using in-store cameras
Okay.
and understand how customers are experiencing the store.
Oh, so they're analyzing customer behavior.
Exactly.
But how does AI help with that?
AI tools can analyze the footage from those cameras.
And what are they looking for?
Well, they're trying to understand things like how people are reacting to displays,
Okay.
where they're spending the most time,
Mm-hmm.
and what's catching their eye.
So they can see what's working and what's not.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then they can use that info to make the store layout better.
So it's all about optimizing the shopping experience.
That's the goal.
Okay. So far, we've talked about all the ways AI is being used in retail.
Mm-hmm. A lot of cool stuff.
It is. But then the article shifts gears a little bit
Okay.
and talks about why it sometimes feels like retail isn't keeping up with AI.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, they say one of the main reasons is that smaller retailers
Yeah.
often don't have the money or the knowledge to implement these fancy AI solutions.
That makes sense.
It's not just about buying the technology.
Right.
You also have to know how to use it.
And integrate it with your existing systems,
It can be pretty complicated.
especially for a small business that might not have a dedicated tech team.
Exactly. So what are some of the other challenges the article mentions?
Well, another big one is that a lot of older retailers are using outdated systems
Okay.
that weren't designed to work with modern AI,
So they'd have to completely overhaul their systems.
which can be super expensive and time-consuming.
Yeah, that's a huge undertaking.
It is. And finally, the article talks about the challenge of figuring out how to best combine AI with human interaction.
Right. You don't want to lose that human touch.
Exactly. You still need knowledgeable and friendly employees.
It's all about finding the right balance.
Absolutely.
Okay, so looking ahead, what does the article say is next for AI in retail?
Well, they're predicting some really interesting advancements.
Like,
One thing they highlight is Edge AI.
what is that?
Think of it as having mini computers with AI brains right there in the store.
Instead of in the cloud.
Exactly. So everything happens much faster.
Oh, so it's all about speed and real-time decision-making.
Exactly. You can see much quicker responses from those self-service kiosks,
Okay.
or even more immediate personalization on digital displays as you walk by.
So less waiting around and more instant interaction.
Right. What else they talk about? Hyper-personalization.
Hyper-personalization, so it's even more personalized than what we're seeing now.
Exactly. It goes beyond just knowing your name or your purchase history.
You okay?
It's about really understanding your style, your budget, your shopping habits.
So they can tailor the experience even more to your specific needs.
That's the idea. And they also talk about the future of voice shopping and AI assistants in stores.
Powered by those large language models everyone's talking about.
Exactly. Imagine having a really sophisticated AI assistant.
Right there in the store to help you.
It could answer your questions, give you recommendations.
That would be amazing.
It'd be like having a super knowledgeable shopping buddy with you.
So overall, it sounds like the future of AI in retail is going to be pretty wild.
It does sound pretty transformative.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this article,
Yeah.
what's the big takeaway?
Well, the main message is that retail is definitely part of this AI revolution that's happening. But the key is being able to adapt and use these technologies effectively.
So retailers need to be strategic about how they implement AI.
Absolutely. And The article really emphasizes the importance of keeping the human touch.
Right. You don't want to create a cold and impersonal shopping experience.
Exactly. It's about using AI to enhance the human experience, not replace it.
I think that's a really important point.
It is.
So for all of you listening out there, the main thing to remember is that AI is already impacting how you shop.
In lots of ways.
And it has the potential to make your shopping trips a lot better.
More personalized, more efficient, and just more enjoyable overall.
Absolutely. But there are still some challenges, especially for those smaller retailers.
Right. Adopting these technologies can be tough for them.
But it's clear that AI is here to stay in the world of retail.
It's not going anywhere.
And that brings us to a final thought for you to consider.
Okay.
As you go about your shopping both online and in stores,
Yeah.
see if you can spot any of these AI-powered technologies at work.
I bet you'll be surprised by how many you find.
And think about what it means for the future of shopping.
How will AI shape the way we buy things in the years to come?
It's definitely something to ponder.
It is for sure.
That's all for today's deep dive.
Thanks for listening.